What did I just spend my entire morning doing? I know I'm not here. Let me get more information. AKA Patters, my better half, my fiance, the love of my life. She likes to make apple crisp, blueberry crisp, peach crisp, mango crisp. If you guys aren't familiar with the recipe, it's essentially chopped fruit with brown sugar, butter, and Quaker oats. You put Quaker oats on it, you get this nice crumbles. You cook it for so long, it just boils and it gets a little bit crispy and it's gooey and it's just so good. But she made apple crisp just last night, and I woke up today and I said, not on my watch. She didn't peel the apples because she didn't have time. And it is the most horrific experience while trying to consume apple crisp. It really is. So that's everything you see here. But it's Saturday and we're talking Snow White, and I don't know. I mean, I can edit these things out. I don't even have to show you guys this, but I feel like bringing you a little closer into the world of AKA PAD gets us a little bit tighter. We're gooey. We're gooey on the inside and a little crispy on the outside. So guys, I know everyone's talking about Snow White. Let's go back to the original, the one true, the only. And yes, I realize Snow White has had silent movies and other interpretations. That's not what we're talking about today. When Walt Disney Co. and friends, Walt Disney, when he touched Snow White, this forever became the standard of Snow White. And that's what we have to pursue every single day. Because Snow White is peeled. Snow White doesn't have the apple skins inside of the apple crisp, creating a unsanctimonious experience. I hate it. So I read that, guys, I went into the apple crisp and I pulled out every single apple slice that had skins on it, and I cut the skins off and I remade it because I'm a psychopath, because I'm crazy. I did that because I'm crazy and I love you. Let's go.
Well, cheers and welcome back to the channel of channels, my AKA Patters. And as always, as a spiritual guide to everything happening on this drawing table, say hello to Stephen Hughes, the late and great. Gone too soon. His work is immensely impactful to me. And our two mascots. You know them, say them already. We got our big boy Crypt, and we have Pike here from Wildstorm Productions. Don't forget, Wildstorm Wednesdays, every Wednesday. My AKA Patters. This is a wonderful introduction to, I don't know, the hard work, shall I say, in the old school, old style Disney productions. The making of a classic film. I love this font. I don't even know what font this is. I wonder if it got ID. I do like, I don't know why, I just like that S. Being part graphic designer, you see the world, we got somewhat things, everything is a kaleidoscope. Hyperion, New York. Hyperion is the Walt Disney Co.'s publishing arm. And then here, opening. We get the following letter is from Adriana Cagliato, the voice of Snow White. And let's check it out. Nice letterhead here. I don't know if this is the official letterhead. It looks like it's a skein, though. I don't know if you guys can see some of the texture bumps in the blue paper. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Here we go. The fairest one of all. And then we go through how, at one time, Snow White was a part of the Silly Symphonies lineup. Why are we not focusing? I feel like, let's try that again. Guys, sometimes we do raw shoots here. Are we in focus? No, we're not in focus. There, we're in focus. And let's see. Right there, we're not in focus. Wow, we're losing focus. Guys, I'll do my best to keep a better eye on that. But yeah, so Silly Symphonies was the cash cow for the Walt Disney Co. right over here. So they had a format. People liked the music. They liked the dancing. They were like, Snow White might be good for, we'll start doing fairy tales. We'll expand the Silly Symphonies lineup. Snow White was in queue to be a part of that. But here's the wild, AKA Patters. Here's the wild thing. Walt Disney said no. So this maniac over here, he says no. Oh, I'm impressed that that's in focus. Thank you, Walt. Walt Disney says no. Let's go full feature. So they secure the bank funding. They get everything lined up. They produce somewhat of a demo reel, because you have to remember, even at this time, they're a fully fledged animation studio. And they get the money. And here we go. Here's, guys, let me know if you want to see this. This is the live stream project, because I want to draw it in the classic style too. I want to draw these in this style. But here's all the different names for the 7 dwarfs. We have lazy, grumpy, thrifty, shifty, nifty, wooful, flabby, jumpy, puffy. So I thought it would be cool to, it's almost like you do this 7 dwarfs expanded family. A little bit like a superhero family. And then here, like, this is the stuff I love, the original art design. Like, they're just trying to figure out what this thing looks like. But then I believe this German guy came on board. He was like old. He was like in his 50s. And he had this European style, and they adapted that for all the backgrounds. And we see the level of detail in the backgrounds. And we have to remember, even then, there were consciousness of the depth of field for the human eye. So the camera equipment, the way how they layered the cells, everything was mapped out to have a level of depth and detail, because, right, it was going to be blown up on the big screen. We didn't have home entertainment at this time, so you would only have to go into the theater for this. And we get more of an expansion of how this was supposed to look. And here to, like, so this is the stuff I love. I love the squiggles here for the shadow. And look at the texture of the paper. This, excuse me, is highly influential in some of my pencil work. And if you go to AKAPAD.com, you'll see I've done, like, way back though, a run of storyboards that emulate a lot of, like, these gray tones. But AKAPAD, look at this Snow White. How come this never became an action figure? Like, that, people would buy that if that was like a vinyl figure. But here's a gag, a deleted gag where Dopey swallows the spoon. Excuse me, let me get some of that coffee. Really high-end stuff here. And we're kind of spoiled by the Disney style, but this is the evolution, not just of the Disney style, of the American style. This is the world. The world copied this. Anime came from copying Snow White. And look, what is happening here? That's a fun time. That's a party. But see, like, this penciled work. And, it could be like pencil, pastel. I love that it's preserved to this level, that it's this clear and nice and toothy. And you can see the texture when it's scanned in. But I love the look of this. I just like, and here's the crazy thing. The triple, like the 3 colors here, it's layered because the back, like, we're going to have a level of animation here in the background for, like, the wispy, like the wispiness of the forest, the creepiness of the forest. But then Snow White's going to be animated, and then we might have, like, foreground animation too. That's closest to the viewer. And you kind of see something similar. There's a George Lucas Star Wars Episode 1 documentary where he goes into the production room and he takes, like, a bunch of different colored highlighters. I don't have any highlighters, but he has markers like this. And Lucas is hitting, like, kind of like what's real, what's not, what's this, quickly tagging everything. And it's important to do that because you have to separate your labor. Other people need to come in and they'll have sheets, they'll have charts, they'll have written direction, they'll have beats to hit, and they have to know what's happening in every single frame. Highly important. And guys, we've all been on that Disney ride in Orlando, Florida. We know these spooky eyes. But guys, I mean, look at the illustration style. So this is where the project starts coming to light. This is the type of production artwork where you're like, holy crap. Because look how close the production artwork is to the final frame. Isn't that wild? But this is what I'm talking about. This is the animation chart of you know, of a department, not just one person, because we see here Ham, Louis, Ham. These are different animators, and this is what they have to do, and then this is the time. Very cool stuff. But guys, this is that style I was talking to you about. Because it's cartoony, it's bold lines, but I absolutely love the gray fight. It just like comes right off the page. We do need a vinyl of this Snow White right here. I mean, look at these guys. Again, too, see? Separated. You can almost like see the animation. Like you kind of can see what they're, because everything is so exaggerated. Everything is has so much torque, like per illustration. And here too, see 1, 2. And the 1 and 2 is, again, like if we're using animation software, this is what that software mimics. All of our voice actors. But like, look at these like stars. See, and they're blowing like the sail. Nice cross hatching here. The models, I mean, again, like the accuracy and the techniques haven't shifted at all. Like you still need maquettes. They created the need for maquettes. They displayed how useful they were, and then the whole world needs to copy it at that point. But see, I love right here, like just where a little bit of the cross hatching fades and it gets lighter and lighter, and look at that expression on that rabbit's face. And we see it, see, like from dark to light, from dark to light. Again, like everything's figured out. They use rotoscoping for the humans, not knocking that at all. That was a available technique at the time. And yeah, I mean, and the perception of that and the way we receive that information, production to production, can shift. The height of rotoscoping, by the way, is Don Bluth's Anastasia. But look at the queen and the huntsman. He can't do it. He cannot kill her. And this is great too, because a lot of times we would have these animation layouts, and then these are the frames. So again, like animation, it's like the production goes from like, it's like the macro and the micro continuously at the same time, where you're working on the big picture, you're working on the individual single frame nuances, and you're doing them both at the same time. That's the only way to get done in animated feature. But guys, here we go. Look at this. Yeah, and then we get, look, see, we're painting down here. But the pencil artwork is just what I just always, it fills my mind. Again, too, see? So this would be like the background, right? So the background needs to get painted. It's going to expand this way, up and down. And then we need these frames to move through the background this way. So it's almost like a lot of times as you're photographing the animation, you're physically moving the cells with the camera the entire time. The camera is tracking every single cell. See, somewhat of an animatic here, Snow White waking up on the beds of the dwarfs. You know, it's just funny. Her head just falls on happy. Again, look at this detail. Look at the detail. Like the dwarves being miners and everything. The 7 dwarves can fall right into Lord of the Rings. And like this is from Lord of the Rings right here. I'm talking about the later visuals of Lord of the Rings. So throughout here, we get more like production shots, but they keep you going page to page. Look at that. Look at that shadow in the back, guys. This is why we draw. So like they layer this nicely, and look at what we have here. And this is just what I love. The quick drawings, the lighting. Look at the motion. This era of animation, it's an intersection of motion and illustration to its highest degree. Maybe the highest it's ever been. And AKAPAD, look at this shot. Look at that. Iconic moments. I mean, right here, we have 3 iconic scenes. Just within 2 pages. I mean, we all know how the story goes. This is a very affordable book. I recommend it to everyone out there. See? Background with animation layered on top of it. This, we can assume, is a screen test. They're shooting, they're seeing what things look like, how the story goes. And again, too, the animation process is elongated to where it's peer-reviewed. There's a feedback loop. It's tested along the way. It's focus grouped along the way to make sure things hit, make sure things land, make sure we communicate the right ideas here. We have a dwarf just like throwing up his hat, graduation style. And they lived happily ever after. It's insane to me that this is controversial. I mean, look at this Time magazine with the boy here with the figures. Always with the merchandise. And I love the advertising. I wish some of these books would show more of it. I realize they may not have much to show. Look, the premiere. Look, Walt Disney and Shirley Temple. Most of you don't even know who Shirley Temple was. Here we go. Action figures. Sell that merchandise. Sell that merchandise. And it's all here. The Walt Disney Company preserved everything along the way. And let that be a lesson to all of you out there. Preserve and document your work along the way. Make it, you can put it on the internet. Make it live forever. And look at the queen, or the evil witch, the evil queen. Look at the little turtle boy here, the ninja turtle. This stuff is so cool. Look, Snow White stamp book, because stamps were huge back then. There you go, Mickey Mouse Weekly, promoting the movie, and look at the coloring. I mean, everything on all levels of production, even back in the 30s, was high end. Like everything we've seen here, as of the merchandise, as of the promotion, the playing cards here, it's high end. Here we go, Walt Disney World. The giant dwarfs always freaked me out. You can do the dwarfs today as robot. Here's the ride for the park. Original layout, original drawing. See, that's from the ride, AKAPADers. The ride is still run today. It is beyond a good ride. Wow. All right. Wow. AKAPAD. It's been a while since I went through this book. I was happy to do it with you. I want to sit down and do a little bit more reading. Love you guys. Rock and roll.